Right. All right, now we are here. This is the Polecat 113 after show going down to Period Town. Uh, Now, before we get into this extremely disgusting article, I mean, unless that's your thing, then that's your thing, but it's kind of gross to me. For those of you guys who are our patrons, I thought we might give you a treat and we'll listen to the full version of the song that I played at the intro. And I want the people that are in the chat to listen to this too. So, of those of you guys who are in here, are you all in the side tube and do you see the Frog Rock logo?
Yes.
Okay. If there is someone who doesn't, Scott said he'd be right back. Well, I'm gonna play it, but go ahead and check it out. You're gonna love this. This is good shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it now.
Lord of Dankness, my old friend, normies oppressing us again. Watching commies flee on live streaming, farming keks with all this dank memeing. Fight the brainwashing that was planted a while in Yale. Fucking white male, fighting for social justice. In Linda's dreams I'd be a cuck, but I've no time for peaceful trucks swimming through their sea of Marxist tears, allied with my fellow red pill peers. When my rage was stoked by the blur of an airborne wreck, baseman with stick, resist the cult of commies. And in the Berkeley streets I saw 1,000 retards, maybe more. People shouting anti-abcentrists, pissed off hysterical mass Bolshevists. People crying racist, that shit we never said. And then they fled, disturbed by sense and logic. Privilege, oh you spoiled brat, your bourgeois cult needs chemostat. Your gender studies teachers mislead you, nurture violence against homo Jews. And it's you who claim we're Hitler's fans. It's time to face the mirror. Righteous people rose and read that verdict God that they decreed. Kekistani so merry so gay, proudly sing their anthem Shadilay. And the Poles said that demon Hillary wouldn't ever have to take her loss. Can't stop the Trump. So much for social justice.
And I think that happens a lot on Angel. I think
Wow.
you are secretly sexist, and you probably won't put this in the video, but...
Well, no, I
mean,
mean, I would.
That's a hell of a thing.
That was great.
That was great.
That was
actually.
awesome. That was totally awesome.
Fuck Steve Shives. Jesus Christ, what a fucking cunt that guy is.
Like,
That is-
I bet
you are
you did.
secretly sexist? No, I don't think so.
There are two people I would legitimately like to get in a fist fight with. One of them I actually could because he lives around here. I'd love to smack the living fuck out of Ralph. And I would love to smack the living shit out of fucking Steve Shives.
So, who's
Honestly, there would be no point in either because neither one of them would learn a damn thing.
Oh, no.
And
Seriously,
you'd
you're
get in
absolutely
trouble.
right. Exactly. There's no cost-benefit analysis system
Yeah.
that works out in my favor in either of those situations.
Yeah, not
both
that I'm
morons.
saying that Ralph is the devil. A lot of people make him out to.
No,
but
he is.
Being a dumbass is not the same as being the devil. I think he's a dumbass in a lot of ways.
Good.
He's right twice a day like a stopped clock. But there's like the thing that's frustrating about Ralph is he'll take something that is true, and then he'll apply it in ways that are false.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of journalistic ethics, he'll take the ethics of unbiased coverage and the ethics of non-censorship and say, well, that means we have to put everything on display, whether it's reasonable or not, to put it on display, and publish everything, every editorial and everything, whether it's worth people's time to look at it or not, which is not journalism. That's not journalism.
You know what's funny about him, though? Is that he got in bed with these fucking little hacker shitbags, and he lost control of his site now, which is fucking great, because they're the ones calling the shots now. And he's just a figurehead at this point. So.
Does he know that?
I don't think that's...
no, he does. He's scared to... No, trust me on this. I know this for a fact. I know this absolute...
He's posting articles there.
Still, he's there as a figurehead, but he's so scared of these dudes. They took over his shit, and he's just there as a figurehead. No, trust me, dude. I know a little bit about this. Actually, I know a lot of it about this.
Man, if I was in that situation, the first thing I would do would be come out and say, well, everybody, I made a mistake. This isn't my site anymore. It's their site. If they have my name on it, they're liars.
No, I mean, he's still going to do that. He's still going to do the shit that he's doing, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and that's not really an excuse, them having control over the site. That's if he doesn't condone what they're doing, then he should walk away from it as loudly as possible.
He absolutely does condone it.
The fact that he hasn't is an indication that either he's an idiot or he does condone it. And it might be somewhere in between, but yeah.
I think I'll need a citation on that one because I don't think he's changed at all. I've been visiting the site.
Well,
and that's not to say that everything he says is wrong either. I mean, I have published on the site. You know, there's been things he said I've agreed with, and there's been things he said I've disagreed with. I don't think
he's quite sympathetic to the whole MRA thing because he did a review of the Red Pill. He did publish Hannah's article, but of course he's a tabloid. He's not saying anything that he's but that.
And then, like I said, he doesn't seem to have the sense to understand the difference between a rational application of a standard and assuming that everything that is remotely related to that standard is that standard.
Mm-hmm. Mike, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Didn't mean to do that. All juice.
Oh no, sorry, I was in another window and I wasn't sure if I was muted here. I wanted to get your feedback on that song because I know you're like the musical aficionado. What did you think?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was well done. I thought only Garfunkel sounded like an angel, and I was wrong.
That guy's voice is beautiful.
When you layer enough sort of channels of voice in there, it makes it sound a lot more soothing. Believe me, my vocal recordings sound even worse before I've played around with the dynamics and worked the magic and whatnot.
Oh yeah. No, it's good.
What makes you think your vocal recordings sound bad?
It's part of my work ethic.
His ears.
There you go.
Remain convinced at all times that
you're always your own worst critic.
This is a very true statement.
Yeah, I was just gonna chalk it up to your ears, but we'll go with that.
I'm so critical of myself whenever I play my instruments.
No, that was a joke.
It was an attempt at a joke.
I will acknowledge that it was an attempt. Every joke is an attempt. We never know how it's gonna work out. We just put it out there.
I remember, when I used to be in a band, my buddy Bo he was always trying to get me to sing through fucking effects pedals and stuff. And I was just like, dude, just let me do it straight. Just let me do it raw. Because I learned I was in course for fucking 12, 15 years or whatever the fuck it was, all through school, and I never sang through anything. I learned to sing and hear the sound of my voice and do all that. And then he's trying. Well, here, let me just put some effects on. Let me do this. Let me do that. I'm like, dude, just let me do it. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. It does sound better if you just do it regular. I'm like, yeah, kinda.
My problem is I judge my voice. My family member who was in the Miss Ohio pageant is an opera singer, and she's actually now, she's got her doctorate in music, and she's a professor and everything. But she is a fully trained, like graduated from training and everything, opera singer with perfect pitch. So then I listen to me, and I'm like, that's not the same. And I'm going to be real harsh because of that.
Like the other?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if other people tell me I sound good. I still, when I hear it, I judge it against that, and it's hard, almost impossible not to. It's very hard work to not judge the sound of my own voice against hers.
Well, that's the thing about when you're being a vocalist, you have to become comfortable with the way that you sing. Like that was the problem with my buddy Bo, is that he learned how to sing punk rock. He didn't learn how to sing. Like he wasn't classically trained how to sing. So he did the thing where he would be like really nasally. Like he would sing through his nose instead of singing through his, his diaphragm and his lungs and everything. And so he was always putting effects and everything on his voice to change it up and do all this, that, and the other. So he never found that comfort level. So that's the most important as somebody who actually sings. You have to find a comfort level with your voice and find your range and what works. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you're always going to be critical of this kind of stuff. As an artist, you just have to be, because otherwise you don't grow. So.
Yeah. My brother managed to do it. But he, he went through phases of different types of music that he was interested in, and of course now as an adult he enjoys all of them. But he started out with heavy metal, and he went through heavy metal, hard rock, punk, back to heavy metal, and then jumped over to country, like with just directly from heavy metal to country with nothing in between. And and now he's like everything. He's got a blues band. He's in a sort of a, I don't know, nostalgia band that sings a lot of music that does a lot of music from the 60s, the 70s, and 80s. And then he's in his church band, and he's got all kinds of stuff going on. But he's totally comfortable. You can tell that he's totally comfortable with his voice, and he went through that too, where like, especially because of the way the rest of the family responded to our differences in innate capability when we started out in music. I could hear, I could play by ear, so I could hear whether something was on pitch or not. And I couldn't necessarily like hear a note and tell you, oh yeah, that's a C, that's a A, and I didn't have any of that. But I could, I could tell you whether you were playing the same, whether your instrument was in tune, whether you were playing the same note over and over again, or whether you had gone, flat or sharp, stuff like that. And he couldn't. Like you could play the same thing two different ways, and it didn't sound different to him. And he strove for a couple of years. Like when he first started out, he sounded like a couple of cats out in the back alley having sex, with his guitar. And he went to where now he's playing 7 different musical instruments, and he sings, and he's working with multiple genres of music with various musicians, and he can just sort of comfortably fit in anywhere that he wants to. So, I know it can be done.
Yeah.
But
it's a learning process, really, for some people. It's not just natural. It's not an instinctual thing.
Well, and like even if it is natural, if you're lazy, you don't progress. Like I played piano for years and did really well, and then I walked away from where my musical instrument was available to me. I moved out of my parents' house, and I don't have room for a piano here. I don't even have room for one of those little toy synthesizer keyboards that they sell that you hold it like a guitar. So I haven't played music in probably 15 years or 16 years. And I probably couldn't sit down and play any of the stuff that I used to play on the piano. I would have to start all over again, relearn everything. But I could still hear if your instrument is out of tune.
Right on.
Are you guys avoiding talking about the article? Is that what the purpose of
I'd actually forgotten about it.
Wait, what article?
The one that we're doing
totally forgot.
As the bonus topic?
Oh, no. We're talking about music because the
going down on somebody.
Because if you
who has
were
period
Okay,
blood.
no, that I don't want to talk about.
yeah, I was gonna say
Sit in a room full of dudes and talk about periods. Come on.
Yeah, I don't have good feelings about this. I'll just be honest right up front with you.
well,
This is not my favorite subject.
no,
I know a lot of
it's
women
not.
make you think it's their favorite subject, but it's really not. I don't even like having to think about it the week that it's happening.
Yeah. Jax L in the chat says, around here it's called getting your Red Wings. Not sure if it's a rite of passage or an unfortunate event. I know the answer to that question. All right, so let's see the case. Maybe they're making a case here. Ellen Scott. I wonder what time of the month it was when she wrote this article. All right, so let's
I wonder what other kind of articles this Ellen Scott person has written. I'm sure that probably says a lot about the caliber of writing she's capable of.
Well, we can certainly look at that. But let's get into the article, because I want to get through this. Otherwise, we'll be here for a week. Get it?
Yeah, I just cracked open a nice hard cider, so I'm preparing.
Considering...
Now, is that a Dickens cider?
Yes. Oh,
Hey-o.
not this week. Considering the widespread disgust and horror at the idea of period sex, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that people are intensely grossed out by the concept of going down on someone who is menstruating. After all, if they're too freaked out to put their penis in a vagina that's shedding its lining, they're likely going to get a bit funny about putting their mouth around one too. But we'll never move forward on our path to having the best sex lives possible if we wait for everyone on the planet to accept one sexual practice before we move on to another. I'm going to stop there before I continue. Because this is... So, in the eyes of the person who's writing this article, eating a woman out who's on her period is an evolutionary step forward in sexual exploration, and we are stuck here, and we have to do this before we can move on to whatever is beyond that. Now, what is beyond that,
Hey, Brian?
that we have to accept?
Can I just jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of thing I've heard from fucking pedophiles. I have seen them say things, well, people shouldn't be ashamed of this. This is perfectly natural to have sex with children. This sounds really fucking weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they always why are these fucking fringe people always trying to normalize behavior that is not only damaging, but it's fucking disgusting? I don't like. Am I wrong here? I mean, is this just weird to anybody else with me?
I mean, is the next thing to be getting into like scatological, sexual acts? Like, if you're not eating shit, then you're not like moving forward with the rest of society. Yeah. Like, you should be.
Well, that's par for the course with people who have the abusive attitude that if they want something, you should give it to them, and you're not doing something right if you don't give it to them.
Yeah.
That they decide that you are deficient in something because you're not giving them what they want, and it's it's narcissistic, it's selfish, it's solipsistic, it's pretty much typical for feminism.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know that there is a mention of feminism in here, but let's find out. I'm sure.
No, but this attitude that there's something wrong with people who don't do this does come from feminism.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so in the interest of pursuing great sex and orgasms, let's get real about going down to period town, by which I mean licking someone's vulva and vagina when they're menstruating. There's absolutely, totally, definitively nothing wrong with going down on someone when they're on their period. There's nothing gross about it, nothing dirty, and nothing disgusting. Does anybody want to jump in right now and make
it kind of is.
You know what? I wish I had a way to play the Lex Luthor thing from Superman Returns with Kevin Spacey. It's just like wrong. Because that's what I'm feeling right now. Wrong.
Okay. If there was nothing dirty about menstrual blood, if there was nothing disgusting about menstrual blood, toxic shock syndrome would not exist.
Yeah.
Okay? If you trap the menstrual blood inside the body for too long, soaked up in a device that's meant to keep it in place, the wrong kinds of bacteria, which are already present in it, before then, or they wouldn't be there. The wrong kinds of bacteria, because that's a sanitary device. It's packaged as sanitary. It doesn't insert that bacteria. That bacteria is already there. Grow to a degree that an infection is created, which can be life-threatening. Mm-hmm. So you guys want to eat some of that or not? It just grosses the hell out of me. I'm sorry. Staph can be found. Staph bacteria can be found in menstrual blood. Mm-hmm. Yeast is in menstrual blood.
Even beside that, though, we're talking about waste product. That's really the discussion ends there. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about semantics all you want and bring up very cogent points, but this is waste. This is bodily waste. This is not healthy. There's nothing healthy about it.
It's a lot like demanding that somebody eat out of the dumpster because you just put the thing in there, so it can't be that bad, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Jack says some people like it, but that doesn't mean everyone needs to like it. Absolutely. That's just it, though. Like people who have sexual interests that are outside of the norm, what I think would be the mainstream, I suppose. They're welcome to engage in whatever they want, but there's no need to try to normalize it if most of the population just isn't interested. And
there's a magazine for everything. I think it was a Patton Oswalt bit. Like, no matter how weird your fetish is, there's a magazine for it. There's probably a Piss Drinkers Monthly out there somewhere. But it's just weird when it bleeds into normal literature.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to say bleeds.
I'm pretty sure that was on purpose. And he's not taking the piss. All right, so if it's not for you,
I don't know whether I'm coming or going.
If it's not for you, then that's fine. If you don't feel even a tiny bit sexy on your period, go ahead and skip oral. If you just don't like the idea of getting menstrual fluids on your nose, whatever. But if your refusal to give or receive oral on a period is down to the ick factor, that needs to be addressed.
Oh, bullshit. Come on, dude. Really?
Get
the fuck out.
Wait
that shit smells fucking awful. It's not just about getting it on your nose. It's about the smell of it in your nose.
My boogers are waste material. I think I should make other people eat them.
Yeah, on what factor? Fuck, right? On what factor do these women that have this type of bitching, on what factor would they call a guy creepy? On what factor would they call a guy that walks up to them on the street and says hello, or tells them they look nice, or sits next to them on the bus? On what factor would they call him creepy? It's not the ick factor. It's not that they don't like the way he looks. It's not that they reject guys if they don't have perfect hygiene. It's not that they don't like beards. They don't like guys that have hair going down their neck. Mm-hmm. They don't have a nickname for men that they find creepy that have hair on their face and their neck. None of that exists. Only women are allowed to have standards based on their version of the ick factor, and men who have standards based on their version of the ick factor are somehow sexist for it. Is that what we're saying here?
Yes.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, because they even say, essentially, if you're a woman and you don't want to have sex or have a man go down on you when you're on your period because you're not feeling sexy, right? Then that's totally fine. But if you're a man and you don't want to go down on a woman because you think it's icky, we need to address it. That's what's being said here.
I'll bet you dimes to dollars the writer of this article would, if a guy had a full beard like that, full face, full mustache, full chin, full down his neck, ZZ Top fucking beard, went down on her and got that thing full of period blood, that she would not be willing to make out with him afterwards unless he wiped it all off.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe we're having this?
You know what? Yeah,
now?
I mean, I don't want to. I can't add to that. I
know. I gave everybody the most beautiful mental image, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Like after, if you are that guy and you do that, after you do that, what you need to do is get somebody to take your picture holding an axe with a mad grin on your face, going.
Well, just don't be that guy.
Yeah, just don't be that guy.
Think better of yourself and don't be that dude, please.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. All right.
But you guys got to be careful because we're probably grossing out the CIA guys right now. Yes. Something awful.
Let's continue. Oh my God. Okay. There's nothing dirty or unhygienic in any way about period blood. Menstrual fluids are just blood, uterine lining, and regular vaginal discharge. They are not toxic or pure evil. They're just something that comes out of the vagina and are entirely natural and healthy. Nothing bad will happen if these fluids make their way into your tongue, hands, or face. Yes, something could. It's called an STD. You can get it that way. Yes, pathogens. This is Scott.
Oh God, I know. I'm just flabbergasted by how dumb a statement that is. It's just blood. Nothing bad comes from no, nothing bad comes from blood. You're right. There's no time throughout history has there ever been any precedent set that there is something wrong with getting somebody else's blood on you potentially. No, never. Oh my God, this fucking person is so stupid. Mm-hmm. Oh. This literally hurts my brain. My head. Okay, I'm drinking a little bit too, so that might be it. But I'm fucking. This is hurting my brain, right?
Hello? Oh shit. I gotta do my things again. Hold on, guys. You're probably talking. Something happened. I gotta change my microphone back to what it was. Sorry. Can you guys hear me now? Shit. I'm gonna leave the room and come back in. Hello? Fuck. Shit. Hold on.
Can't type and talk at the same time.
All right. There it is. I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we could hear you the whole time.
Oh, is this my audio cut out? I don't know why that is. Like, I gotta do some shit.
It's probably Windows 10.
Over.
Yeah.
Something
You're
happened.
being gaslit by Windows 10.
Yeah, it's probably my Windows bullshit. Anyway, sorry guys. The people watching, even though you guys could hear me, the people watching didn't hear you for as long as that went on, which was just for a few seconds.
Oh, of course.
But, okay, so I'm sorry. This is disgusting, but we got to get through it.
Yeah. There was this guy that...
Oh, Mr. 303, what was that?
There was this guy that Bearing Court a while ago, where he would do exactly what the article suggested, and he kept his girlfriend's kind of... what was it? He was kind of a really creepy dude, and he kept his girlfriend's used tampons.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
That's disgusting.
I remember that story. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, look. Again, if that's your thing, I'm not going to get in the way, man. I just hope you're aware of the risks. But don't try to tell me that shit is normal. Like, don't try to normalize that.
Like I was saying, this is like, I mean, it's obviously not on the same level as pedestry, but still, it's like when you're talking about normalizing fringe behavior, people don't have to accept it.
Yes.
Like, the idea that we have to think this is okay? No, I don't have to think it's okay because I know it's not okay.
Right.
We've set precedent medically through over hundreds of years that blood-borne issues are very real and they can fuck you up. Like, especially since like the 1980s with AIDS and HIV. I mean, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
Well, and we've got like I think I've quoted numerous times the fact that like something like 1 in 6 in the population has genital warts, has the virus that causes genital warts. Yeah. Even if it doesn't actually cause them to manifest on you. Yeah. You don't have to. It's not like with herpes. They say, if you don't have open sores, you're probably not going to transmit it. It's not the same with genital warts. Right. Bodily fluid will transmit it, even if you are completely 100% asymptomatic. Aside from if they were to actually test you and look for the virus microscopically, without any other, no way for your partner to look at you and say, yeah, this person has symptoms of genital warts. Nothing. Right. And you can get it. And genital warts affects the body in a way that makes it, in its own way, it's a deadly risk. Not everybody that has it is going to get cancer, but it does dramatically increase your risk of cancer. Mm-hmm. And if you get it in the genital area, you're at an increased risk for genital cancers. If you get it through oral sex, you are at an increased risk for oral cancer and throat cancer and stomach cancer. Yes, like Michael Douglas. Yeah. And these are things that, this is not a moral judgment. This is not shame on you if you do this. This is take precautions to protect yourself from something that can kill you in a terrible, painful, torturous, and incredibly undignified way. And it's a humiliating and painful death. And if you can avoid it, it's not sexist to take steps to protect yourself from that. Yeah. And the risk is higher for men because it is much easier to avoid the transmission of bodily fluids during oral sex performed on a penis than it is to avoid the transmission of bodily fluids during oral sex performed on the entire outer genitalia of a woman. Because our fluids go everywhere. They're there the entire time. It's not like, you can wrap it like with a condom and nothing's going to escape from that into the mouth. So this idea of going completely unprotected and having oral sex during a period, it's not just stupid in terms of, this is unfair to the guy to make a judgment of him based on the ick factor. They're basically saying, I don't care about your health. I don't care about your safety. I don't care about your sensibilities. I don't care about you. If somebody demands this from you, if somebody tells you that you're wrong for saying no to this, they don't care about you, and you shouldn't be having sex with them at all.
Yeah, another thing too, Brian, where was this published at?
metro.co.uk. It's a UK article.
See, this is even more so than just the fact that this person is trying to normalize this behavior. Is the thing that I find more disturbing is the fact that whoever is the lead editor or publishing editor at this particular, whatever website, news organization or whatever, is allowing this sort of thing to be put out there. This is spurious information. This is information that could literally lead to somebody contracting a deadly disease.
Yep.
And the fact that they are presenting this as though it's just like, oh, hey, here you go. We're just going to put it out there because why the fuck not? This is negligent negligent doesn't even describe how negligent this is. There needs to be another word that is beyond negligent that describes this. This is
malicious. This is flat out malicious. It's not just negligent. It's malicious. It is intentionally subjugating men's welfare to women's pleasure. It's malicious.
Yep.
It's predatory.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on. Let's see here. Okay, and realistically, you probably won't get much period blood on your tongue, hands, or face in the first place. Not as much as the bloodbath you're imagining anyway. If you're worried about mess or don't like the idea of greeting your sexual partner with a blood-smeared face post-orgasm, just stick to the clitoris. You can lick and suck away without actually getting all up in the vag, and if you're really worried about some blood making its way out, you can use a tampon while you do that. Even if you do shove your tongue deep inside and get on with things, it's unlikely you'll get that much blood gushing out. The average person loses about 30 to 40 milliliters of blood. I don't know why you would say the average person when it's women that menstruate. I mean, if a man's bleeding out of his dick, then it's not menstruation. He needs to go to a doctor.
It's probably because transgender.
I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing.
That statistic is very misleading. They are counting a percentage of the overall fluid that comes out as the entire fluid. Mm-hmm. If that was all the average woman bled, there would be no need for the Super Plus tampons. There would be no need for the heavy flow pads. There would be no need for any. The fact is, it is very watered down. There's a lot of fluid that comes out, and it's not like this person is describing in the article at all. And this is so gross. I can't believe we're discussing this.
I know. Well, you know what? As I was going to say,
like,
I've been with girls that have like incredibly heavy flows, and they don't even want to get out of bed. Like it's so bad that they're just like bedridden for like the first day or whatever it is when the heavy days are. You know,
bitch, get out! You're going to put blood all over.
It's not just the flow that causes that. I mean, what you basically got is a heavy weight in your abdomen pulling down on everything, and your body is trying to basically push it out the same way it pushes a baby out, except you've had diarrhea cramps. I'm sure everybody's had diarrhea cramps. It's the same basic principle.
I'm not going to answer that question with a yes or no.
It's like if anybody here has reached adulthood and never had diarrhea, then you did not eat a wide variety of foods growing up. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you have IBS, you can. There you go.
Well, yeah, and so it sucks, and there's other stuff that goes with it. Like I used to get migraines every month. I'd go to school once a month, looking like death, and I'd have teachers try to send me home, and I'd be like, "No, this is normal. That it just happens, you know." And it's like, then there were girls that would use that to get out of school, and there've been a few occasions where it's actually hit me hard enough that I was, stuck in the bathroom throwing up. But it's the idea that it's this minor little, blip on the radar is bullshit. For and the idea that it doesn't spread. Like, okay, I know a lot of gals use stuff to keep it inside until they're ready to dispose of it and all that, okay? But not everybody does. Not everybody can. It's not always the wise choice because of toxic shock syndrome. I wouldn't recommend tampons to anybody for that reason. But even with all of that, you still get fluids from the vagina all over the outer genitals. That stuff moves. It migrates. You move, it moves. It spreads. It's a fluid. And it's on a surface that moves on itself, against itself when you walk. So this idea that they're not going to encounter any of it if they just focus on the clitoris, if they avoid the vagina and all that, first of all, it's bullshit. And second of all, if she's advising them to avoid the vagina, then she's acknowledging the ick factor, justifying the ick factor, which doesn't really need justification, and admitting that she's asking somebody to do something that she's being unreasonable asking them to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
For sure. Okay, so the average person loses between 30 to 40 milliliters of blood during a period, meaning over the course of 7 days, which is hardly anything. Reduce that time to the 20 minutes or so that you're going down, and you're really looking at a few smudges of blood unless the person you're going down on experiences a particularly heavy flow. But the reasons you should consider going downtown on someone's period go beyond "it's not that bad, I promise." It's down to making people feel good when their period is likely making them feel a bit rubbish. Okay, that's how I know this is a British article, because she used the word rubbish. We don't do that in the States for anything.
So it all comes down to the woman's pleasure, not the man's pleasure?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course.
But God forbid anybody suggests that if a guy is having a rough time at work, his wife could make him feel better by giving him a blowjob.
After a long and hard day's work.
Or like if his boss has been a real shit for the last month and he's really down, he's really worried, and he's really dealing with stuff, dealing with a lot of stress. And you suggest to a woman, well, you could relieve that by giving him a blowjob. Holy shit, you might as well have suggested, that that's all she's good for ever. And God damn it, woman, get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, bring me a beer, give me the remote, No, it's only when it's really for a woman's bad experience that it's all right to demand that somebody perform oral sex and overcome their own ick factor to do it.
And you know what? Just do it. Don't ask permission. Just do it. Okay, well, try to read it and see if he'd go for it, and then just do it. But it's down to making feel good, okay. Having an orgasm can alleviate cramps, reduce pain, and even shorten the length of a period, thanks to the contractions of the uterus, which make the lining and blood come out faster. It also boosts your mood, reducing any PMS-related moodiness in the process, and makes you feel sexier when you're often feeling a bit bloated and crap. Receiving oral when you're on your period makes the most of all that period time horniness. Yes, loads of us are extra turned on around our period time. It's not just you. And the lingering feelings of, is this okay? Is everyone else doing this? Makes it feel a little taboo. Hopefully one day it won't be taboo, but for now we can enjoy that bit as a turn on. So, I was actually just thinking, but these are the worst drawings on this article, by the way. But I was just thinking, I remember a time when I was a young adult, and I'd graduated high school, and I was sort of like getting out into the sexual world, as it were. People who had like fringe kind of, interests, they didn't want to make them mainstream. And it wasn't just because they were afraid of some kind of social stigma, but they actually enjoyed and reveled in the fact that they were doing something that no one else was doing. And they enjoyed trying to find other people who had the same interests, or to see, exploring these sort of newer things. I find it interesting because it's a bit more rebellious, the way that we used to do things like that, where it's like, oh, I'm into X, and this was like my thing. And I don't really care that other people don't accept it, and I don't really care that it's not a mainstream idea. I actually enjoy the fact that it's kind of like a fringe and edgy thing that I do, and that's part of the turn on. And it's funny that she actually acknowledges that, while at the same time saying, I wish it wasn't taboo.
Basically, part of the kink factor in any given kink is the fact that it is a kink and not the norm.
Right.
Part of the fun factor in any given kink, part of the draw, is the fact that it's a kink and not the norm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
That's right. I mean, that's part of what people liked about it, I think. And that was my experience anyway. I put it that way.
Right. What's interesting about that last paragraph that you read, that she wrote, it sounds like she used the excuse, but I'm horny, so therefore you owe me sex. Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Isn't that basically? Did it come across that way to anybody else?
Yeah.
No pun intended. But isn't that something that feminists accuse men of, and then call it rapey when they're accusing men of doing that? They say it's rapey. But I want, so you should give me. That's rapey, right? Mm-hmm. And so once again, she's basically doing something that feminists say is rapey if a man does it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Common refrain.
All right. So
one other thing that doesn't necessarily necessitate anything oral. I mean, that's what sex toys are for, and you can wash them, and they don't get sexually transmitted diseases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. What is
okay.
it? Do for self. Do for self. If
right.
you want it so bad, do it your goddamn self.
Okay, and
don't put the impetus on somebody else to satisfy you. I mean, Christ, you fucking selfish cunt.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Christ.
Work with people. Jeez. Oh, okay. So continuing on. This is the end, actually. Oh, and it's hot, really hot, just like any other glorious oral session. Well, since you put it that way, I guess it is. But fuck me and my opinions. You just said it. It shows that you're not bothered about blood or other entirely normal bits of the vagina, which is always attractive, and proves that you actually care about making your sex buddy feel good. You mean woman, right? Oh, wait, but not all women have vaginas. I'm sorry. Makes a nice change from suggesting that they should just go down on you when you're menstruating, no? And makes up for all the times you might have suggested anal because you couldn't have vaginal sex during Shark Week. What do you mean? Like, are you saying that anal sex is something that is like you're taking one for the team? Like that's the bridge too far? Please eat out my bleeding cunt, but don't put it in my ass. That's
she
wrong.
needs to get over the ick factor.
Yeah, you need to get over it. Shit is normal.
There you go.
Oh, look, there's a survey question. Thoughts on oral while perioding? Perioding? That's not a word. Number 1, I don't want anything sexual while I'm on my period. Oh, this is for the women. Number 2, it's a massive turn on. Number 3, it's gross. It's racist. Number 4, it's fine.
Wait, what?
No,
Racist?
Racist? No, I was.
You just added
Oh
that.
God.
I added that. It just says it's gross. I was just thinking about Ben Affleck. Whenever I say that now, I think of Ben Affleck. Number 4, it's fine, but not for me. And number 5, I don't let someone's period stop me from giving them orgasms. Milady. Which one should we answer? I don't want anything sexual while I'm on my period. It's a massive turn on. It's gross. It's racist. It's fine, but it's not for me. And I don't let someone's period stop me from giving them orgasms.
None of those are fair. How about what other people do doesn't really affect what I do or want to do at any point in my life for any reason?
Jack says she wants Hannah to pick one.
You want me to pick one?
Yeah.
Well, have I not already gotten it across that I think it's the oral shit during the period is gross. That's pretty.
Let's just do that one. Let's click. It's gross. Well, then we'll find out what other people have clicked. Okay, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's racist. Okay, here we go. It's gross is winning at 32%. At the bottom at 11% is it's a massive turn on. So basically nobody.
I find I'll bet that statistic is actually probably. I'll bet people they probably did that on purpose.
But the third one. So basically, a 32% is it's gross. 22% is it's fine, but it's not for me. That means, hey, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But I'm not interested. The next one down is I don't let someone's period stop me from giving them orgasms.
Oh God!
And then the next one down at 15% is I don't want anything sexual while I'm on my period, and the last one is 11% with it's a massive turn on, which is funny because there are more people willing to give women orgasms during their period than there are women who want to get them. That's according to this study, right?
Yes. That's typical too. If you tell a guy that he owes women something, he's more willing to do it. And guys are hearing over and over again, you owe women this, so they're gonna toughen up and do it, even though they should be looking at this and it's a bad idea. There's that segment of the male population. Oh, this is what women want. Okay, I'll do that.
Sucks to be them.
And it does, and it actually kind of sucks to be the women that are involved with them too. I wouldn't want somebody to do something that he didn't like in an intimate situation because I wanted it. If it was going to make him uncomfortable, if he was grossed out by it, that's not an intimate partner
it's not
act.
a partner you want to be with.
Subjugation, and I don't want to subjugate somebody. I think that's gross, not just gross in terms of icky gross, but that just is disgusting to me. I don't want that. I want to be having fun together. I want to be happy together. I want to make my partner happy, and be challenged. Yeah, there's hell. It's what is the point of being with somebody if you're just using the other person as a warm sex toy? Why not just get a sex toy?
I had an ex-girlfriend.
I don't understand that.
And she was just like, I'd be like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Oh, I don't know, whatever you want to do. And she was like that all the time. And it was such a fucking turn off. Mm-hmm. I was like, look, if we're going to be together, I want you to have your own friends and have your own ideas and your own likes and interests and stuff. And she was just like, oh, I don't know, I'll do whatever you want to do. And I'm just like, I don't want to, and the thing was, it was just like, sexually, we're really keyed in. Everything's like, bam, bam. It was great, it was fucking fantastic. But you can't build a relationship on just that. That's a doomed proposition.
Yeah.
So the idea that like you were saying, it turns into subjugation at that point. And fuck that. Who the fuck wants that? I mean, I don't want that anyway. That I see no value in it. That holds no value for me whatsoever. It's a losing proposition.
The whole point of using the word partner to describe the person that you're in an intimate relationship with is that you guys are on equal footing.
Exactly.
In some way or another. Even if you divide the labor that brings the support in for the household in a way that other people look at as not equal, if you're not making equal decisions, if you're not working together as a team, and you're not, right down to what you do together and what you enjoy with each other and what you do in private, if it's not on equal terms of being emotionally invested in each other's welfare and getting joy from making each other happy and being happy together and sharing moments and sharing fun and so on, then it's not, you're not doing it right. And it's like, I'm not coming down on relationships where there's a sub and a dom and all that. Even that has its own way of being equal, because everything involved there is voluntary, and there's a lot of trust that is relied upon when those relationships are done right, they're functional and everything. And then just because it's not my bag doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But when you take something like that and ignore the way it's supposed to be and do it in terms of something like this article discussed, you owe me this because I want to feel good, and because woman, because vagina, because uterus, or the other way around. I won't make any decisions for myself because I'm I can't remember the term. Allison knows the term, but a submissive wife, the submissive wife, and I never say anything to my husband. My husband runs the house, and it's not my business to make any suggestions or do any input or offer to take up any of the load, the mental load or anything. That's bullshit. That's not an equal relationship. It's not even really a relationship in terms of partnership. It's more like a parent-child relationship, which really makes the idea of sex gross.
That's crazy to me that situation exists in this day and age.
It's a misunderstanding of the Bible. It's a misinterpretation of what the biblical admonition regarding a marriage is supposed to be. Is the idea that women don't contribute anything to running the marriage, to protecting the household, to gathering resources, to making decisions on what's good or bad in the household is bullshit. That's not actually what the Bible says at all. But there are people who interpret it that way, and they live like that, and it messes up their relationships, and you end up with this passive-aggressive wife that feels superior to her husband every time he makes a mistake that she could have foreseen and said, hey, did you notice this detail? And he would have not made that mistake then. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Guys. Oh, shit. I think I lost you again. Fucking hell.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. I can hear you now. You were
quiet. I just stopped talking.
My computer made it. All right.
Touche.
You're right.
Hey, man, if you can't make fun of yourself.
All right, last thing. I want to wrap it up. I just want to tell you that I looked in the comments section of this article, and the first guy made a comment. His name is Edward. He said, "And this is news," with an emoticon of like a what the fuck, a face, right? And then I just responded while you guys were talking, and I said, "Hey, if it bleeds, it leads." So. Oh.
Damn.
So yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that I got the last word in.
That's perfect.
Oh my God.
We're gonna wrap up the after show now. Thanks guys for joining us, and we will see you guys. Well, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna do a Pussycat this week. Because I have the stream on Friday, so I may not have a Pussycat cast this week.
What time does it start on Friday?
Like in the morning, like 11 o'clock or something, my time. So it's gonna be like somewhere between 11 and 12 Eastern. And it'll be all day. I'm just gonna go, and Karen will join me, and there's lots of people who will probably pop on, and we'll hang out with them. So
yeah, when do you want me to come on, dude?
Anytime should be fine.
I'm available pretty much all day.
Okay. Yeah, we'll I'll set something up and bring you on. We'll play some games or whatever. But I also got to gather a bunch of articles to look at too. Some stuff like this to get reactions from non-honey badgers that will be on as guests. So, but let us roll out because I'm going to get some dinner. So I will.
This type of article might scar people.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
Seriously.